Okay, I would like to reconvene open session for the regular meeting of Washington Unified School District for September 26th or 22nd, 2016. Let's first do the Pledge of Allegiance. Can I please have Chris Swirsky lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, for a roll call vote, let the record reflect that all board trustees are present with the exception of Board President Cruz. And for announcements of action taken in closed session, we have Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiators. And I do have an update that I just received for this. And the district and WTA continue to work on a solution to this bargaining impasse. The parties began another session of mediation this morning at 9 a.m. and have made more progress towards a settlement. The board and parties received a copy of the confidential fact-finding report, and if the parties do not settle, the district will publish the state report between tonight and Monday. So to clarify, they are still negotiating right now, and they are very close on all items, including salary. Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Discipline, Dismissal, and Release, and information was received. So that takes us to our student board member report. Oh, that takes us to approval of the agenda. I'm sorry. Approval of the agenda, but we need to note that we'd be going back into closed session at the end of the meeting. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that takes us to student association reports. So we have our student board member report with Vikram.
Good evening, everyone. So first off with River City, the varsity's football team is currently 2-2. Last week, the Raiders came back from a 20-30 deficit to beat El Camino 33-30 in a dramatic fashion. The Raiders will take on Rio Linda tomorrow night in the first Tri-County Conference game. The program will also be honoring the inaugural River City High School football coaching staff at tomorrow's night game. Girls tennis. The Lady Raiders remain undefeated in the Tri-County Conference. The team is 4-0 in TCC and 9-3 overall, hosting Davis today in a big TCC match tomorrow at River City versus River Valley next Wednesday. The Lady Raiders are looking to repeat as TCC champs. Girls volleyball. Volleyball is in full swing. Varsity is currently 1-2 in league with a tough away match tonight in Yuba City. Big tournament this weekend at Jackson Sports Academy with over 50 schools from the region. Also, we have one of our players, Xaviana Bryant Davis, being recruited by several area colleges and junior colleges. We would love to see everyone out there for our senior night on October 25th at 6 p.m. For water polo, our water polo team, both boys and girls, have been competing in some of the toughest tournaments in the area. Both teams have improved dramatically. The boys are currently 2-1 in the Metro League. Most recently, they lost to Laguna Creek. Our girls are undefeated in Metro League play, coming off a dominating performance versus Laguna Creek. The girls are looking to continue their streak versus Rio Linda this afternoon. For Stonegate, they would like to thank everybody for coming to their Climate Safety PBIS team meeting, and as they attended the first annual California PBIS Coalition Conference. For Southport would like to thank everyone for coming to their West Sacramento VFW Post 8762 for the generous donation of a wide assortment of school supplies. Also, we are excited to work with the VFW in encouraging our middle school students to enter the Patriots Pet Writing Contest. This is a contest that Southport has participated in for the past several years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have a WTA report. And I know Mr. Soffer is not here. Do we have somebody speaking on behalf of the...
Hang on a second.
I think...
Mic's not on.
So there you have a button, right?
There you go.
Here we go.
All right.
Thank you.
Try this again. Good evening. Carmen Wright. This is Jessica Pagan. We are part of the executive team. We like to thank our parents, community members, students, teachers, and their families. Don has asked us to speak on his behalf this evening.
Like Sarah said, as of right now, the WTA and the district negotiations teams are still meeting. There are no further updates at this time, but we would like to take this time to thank all of our members of our hardworking negotiations team for all that they have done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have CSCA report.
Good evening, Board. Superintendent Linda Luna. A few board meetings ago, I had brought up unnecessary contracting out, and tonight I would, bear with me, I'd like to reiterate a little bit on the unnecessary contracting out. On the August 25th board meeting, there was a few items in there, and I would like to just paraphrase a little bit of what it says. It says, on the wall of the rear of the district office building currently stands without most of the current paint, as does the rest of the site. The wall instead displays sun-worn, aged paint. Then it goes on, it just goes on to tell a little bit more about it. Then it says, facilities invites many painting contractors to submit proposals for the project. The submissions received were often overpriced or did not include the details that would result in quality work. The proposal submitted to the board today is prepared by Mason Painting, as their proposal was found to be the most effective, reasonable bid. It is recommended tonight that the Board of Education approve this contracting. So the proposal was for $1,520 for the exterior wall at the district office. And then in M15, on the same board minutes, the board may recall the approval of an additional door in the administration building at Westfield, May of 11, 2016. It goes on, it says the contractor associated with the installation of the door submitted a proposal of $5,700 to complete the project. They found that it was too high, so facilities referred the district pre-approved list to find a painting specialist as the opposed general contractors that may offer more affordable rates. Mason Painting submitted a proposal for $335, and I learned that it came out to $600. So the contracting out in and itself is something that we need to do for certain things, but we do have a maintenance department, and these guys are skilled and qualified to paint a door or even an exterior wall. And even on overtime, it would be less than half those prices. I was just bringing it up tonight that there's a lot of it going on, and I brought it up, and these prices are way high for the people that we have people to do these jobs. So enough with that one. So the IEPs, I brought it up to the board a couple times. Transportation in the special ed department is still moving very slow on getting us all those IEPs for those students that we transport, that we desperately need to have safe transportation for our staff and for the students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That takes us to public comment, and I am going to read the public comment that is posted. At this time, members of the public may address the board on topics that are under the jurisdiction of the board and are not on the agenda, although the board, by law, may not take action at this meeting. The board may limit the total time for public input on any topic to 20 minutes unless it chooses to waive the item limit for a particular item. Individual speakers may be limited to 3 minutes to comment on any topic. Public comments consisting of individual charges, complaints, or derogatory remarks about any district employees are requested to be submitted in writing to the administration in accordance with the district's complaint procedure. We do recognize for a lot of people that commenting before the board and the audience and the people watching at home on television is a nerve-wracking experience. And so to try to make that as easy as possible. We do ask that there not be applause or booing or catcalling or any other demonstrations that would not maintain a civil discourse here in the chamber. And so to reiterate, we expect that we'll have, of course, all respectful remarks here with no personal attacks. And we look forward to hearing from you. So I'll give my own disclaimer, and that is that before I ever read names publicly, I would walk over and say, "Can you tell me how to pronounce this?" But I can't do that here tonight. I just am on the spot. So I apologize if I mispronounce your name. It's certainly not intended or personal. It can be hard to read the handwriting as well. So bear with me on that if I mispronounce your name. So we will get started. We have, it looks like Brennan Garcia. Or Brianna? Brenna. Okay, Brenna. Thank you, Brenna.
Hello. I would just like make comments for the current negotiations that are happening with the district and the Teachers Association. Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. There are so many points I'd like to address, and it's overwhelming, so I guess I'll start from the top. Ever since I came to this district, I had to do nothing but struggle and fight for my children to receive a proper education according to faith that they deserve and are entitled to. I have had to deal with the district and some inadequacies for 12 years in getting her served properly. I will say it did get better recently in the last 2 years after I got legal assistance. I have a special needs child and two with severe impairments, and she started at Bright Elementary in preschool. So it's been a while. I have 2 boys at Stonegate. I thought they would be easier to, that it would be easier since it's mainstream education. Clearly, I was wrong. Not paying the teachers quality pay is an option. Are you serious? Now I'm having to struggle with mainstream education for my boys? Proper staffing and comparable wages so our children can have encouraged positive personal development for our students isn't a consideration while making decisions. Has it come to this? This shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. You want to be a training ground for teachers, but you don't want to keep the teachers that you train, at least the ones that are great and want to stay. The notice sent publicly about the issue just after school started, I knew it was just an illusion and a cover-up because if you really want to help, you would have resolved the issue before school started, and that you didn't. I question every single individual that serves our children and their integrity. You don't for me, you don't serve this public community because you want to make change for the better. That's how I see it. Currently, I liken this akin to a Walmart negotiation, giving just enough pay and way too much work so that they have to worry about how they will take care of their family. They are educating the future of this nation. If this isn't resolved, you're contributing to the degradation of it. Our children deserve a brighter future. Keep our quality teachers that have been trained here, quality pay for quality teachers. It's all about integrity. Thank you.
Thank you. Yvonne Kemp?
Hello, thank you for listening to me. Quality teachers, quality pay. Our teachers are an integral part of our community, and they deserve to be respected and treated as such. As a parent of a child that has been at Bridgeway since kindergarten, who is now in 8th grade, and as a parent who has volunteered at Bridgeway for every one of those years, I can only speak to you of what I see, what I know, and what I have experienced myself. I have seen and experienced teachers who are passionate about their profession. I have seen these teachers go far above and beyond what is expected of them on a daily basis for their students. I see the effort they put forth to provide inspiration, excitement, the enthusiasm for learning and achieving for our students and children. I see the compassion and passion that they possess. I see the desire they have to help our children become productive students by becoming their mentors. I know they provide opportunities for our students through programs such as NJHS, after-school tutoring, and MESA, to name a few, that as a parent, I do not have the resources for and cannot provide for by myself. Most importantly, they provide a positive role model for my child. Our students are more than just a statistic or a dollar amount. Our teachers are more than results provided by a test score. The longer you take to settle this, the longer you rob our children, our students, of opportunity and positive experiences. The longer you take to settle this, the greater the feelings of dissatisfaction, angst, and apathy you create. The longer you take to settle this, the greater the reasons for our teachers to leave. I respect, believe, and trust in the teachers we have and their abilities to provide the best education for our children, our students. You should feel the same about the teachers you employ. Quality teachers, quality pay. Settled now. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Baldwin.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Baldwin, and I'm a proud parent of a Washington Unified kindergartner. My child has had the fortune and opportunity to attend both Southport Elementary and Bridgeway Island. Like many parents of a precocious boy, my husband and I were concerned that his emotional development would not match his intellectual development, which would in turn cause multiple issues further down his K-12 journey. Thankfully, the Southport admin team recognized our needs and supported and helped implement our decision in putting our son in TK last year instead of kinder. They matched him perfectly with one of the most amazing, gifted, kind-hearted, knowledgeable TK teachers we know. We met with her, discussed our concerns, and she worked closely with our son and family on his emotional development. He is the child he is today because of the grace, encouragement, and hands-on, day-to-day difficult and rewarding work that she did. She helped foster and develop his fine people skills, along with his own emotional awareness in the course of 3 hours a day during the 2016-2015 school year. Reverse that. Like many teachers here tonight, she made lasting impressions on a child. She not only impacted my child, but several other children that I get to see every day at Bridgeway Island when I drop my son off. The potential for a teacher strike concerns me because our campuses will be unstable and tense, the last thing our children need. You have allowed for a situation with a potentially quick solution to manifest itself into the monster that we see today. You continue to allow for the situation to impact not only my child negatively, but the thousands of other children that are in our district. Tonight, teachers are asking you to respect and value not only their intellectual ability and capabilities, but the capabilities of forming children into the people they are supposed to become. You're getting in the way of not only the potential of our children, but the potential of new and veteran teachers. You've created a volatile situation that will have long-lasting effects on the relationship between students, staff, and parents in this district. In this cloud of mistrust and negativity, I try to remain calm and realistic and optimistic. The realistic side knows that you have to recognize the financial, emotional, and social impact a teacher strike will have on our district. My realistic side also knows that there has to be a point when the board will fulfill their leadership responsibilities and get this handled. You need to resolve this so we don't end up seeing our beloved teachers leave their classrooms without pay for days on end. You need to resolve this so that our children and our teachers can move on. And you need to resolve this for the betterment of my child, our teachers, and the betterment of this district and this community. Please, just get this taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Olivia Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Olivia Gonzalez, and I'm a senior at River City High School, and I'm going to start off by saying this is ridiculous because our teachers work really hard. This situation has had a devastating effect on my senior year. There are teachers that have made a fabulous impact in my life. Salcedo always makes me laugh and smile, and he helped me be more comfortable with the Spanish language. Miss Adams, I've had since freshman year, and she has been there for me on my bad days and encouraged me to become a leader. Miss Adams works amazingly hard for all her students. She makes the students feel comfortable, and you can see she loves everyone who walks through her doors. Ms. Baldwin has been in my life for 7 years, and she was my 6th, 7th, 9th grade English teacher. In 11th grade, I had TA for her, and I have TA for her next term. And I can honestly say she became my family. I can count on her for a smile or just to talk to. She's helped me out with my grades, homework, what I want to do after I graduate, and just life in general. These teachers have a big part in my life, and to see them struggle saddens me. Our teachers help us out a lot in ways other than just school related or not. Some students' grades are going down because they can't get help from teachers after school or during lunch. Miss Adams' dance classes are so fun, and we get the chance to have a dance show, and to hear that we might not get that this year broke my heart. The dance show to me is to show others that anyone can dance, to express ourselves and how hard everyone works, especially Miss Adams, and to have fun. My friends and I, Maria and Chris, are presidents of Wanted Dance Crew, and we were so excited to have new people, new dances, and new fun experience. But we may not get that anymore because we aren't allowed to have clubs or practice on campus. Do you guys know how hard it is not to have practice in the dance room? One location we tried was over by my house, but the cops got called. We explained that we were having practice, and we weren't allowed to hold practice at school, but I'm glad they understood. Another location we held practice was behind Target. That was frustrating because cars kept passing by. Changing locations to hold practice caused us to lose 20 students because parents weren't comfortable having practice in a location other than school campus. I support my teachers because they supported all of us. I show my support as much as I can, and on September 9th, I was doing the announcements, and my normal catchphrase is life is better when you're laughing, but on that day, I said life is better when you're laughing, but it's even better when you support our WTA teachers. And a VP pulled me in and told me it was inappropriate and unprofessional. I understood she had to tell me that because it's her job, but what I don't understand is what was so wrong about saying that I support my teachers. I don't want to see any teachers quit again because Hatfield already quit, and he was an amazing math teacher. Teachers work hard, and they should get what they deserve, and this is affecting the students more than you think. This decision is just as important to the students as it is to the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Danny Therical and Summer Weisman.
Good evening. Sorry, laptop's in the way. My name is Danny Therical. I'm a River City High School alumni and a Sacramento City College student. I've spoken once before addressing the teacher contract negotiations. To recall, I asked you to do the right thing and to give these teachers not just what they deserve, but what they're owed for all their hard work. Tonight, I'm going to remind you all again how much they do and to encourage you to really hurry and end this prolonged contract negotiations. When I was in high school, I started a dance club called Command Dance Crew. My club would practice twice a week, about an hour and a half each time. Thank you to Ms. Rodriguez here, who donated 2 days out of the week after school to make that happen. I would spend 5 to 8 hours besides my academics, preparing to teach my dance club each week. And dancing has been one of my many passions, and I'm happy that I was able to share my talent with many of my fellow students at the time. However, my dedication does not compare to how much my dance teacher, at the time Mrs. Adams here, does for her class. I spent 5 to 8 hours a week to prepare for my dance club, but she spends countless of hours preparing for 3, most of the time 4 classes, like this semester, a day. And each class, at the end of the semester, learns 5 different dances. So this goes to show you cannot comprehend just how many hours teachers put into their work. I would like to close by inviting Summer Marie Weisman, who's the current Command Dance President, to speak.
Thank you, Danny. Let me just start off by when I was first announced president. The only moral support I really had was Miss Adams and Miss Rodriguez from the start. So when a few weeks ago when I first heard about the contract coming into motion, I had to hear their words, and their complete words were, "We cannot help you anymore. You have to be on your own because of the contract. We just can't be there. We can be supportive, but we can't help you." And I just thought about how scared I was going to be on my own. It's like on my own with 43 students, mind you. So as of now, we are practicing up in the trail behind the school. It's been really good, and we've been a family, but as it came down to it, my first thought was when I was a little girl and how I was bullied for what I used to do, and how low confidence I had because of this. And every day just name calling and just they just ask me, why am I doing what I'm doing? And so when I came to River City and I became a part of command in the dance program that Miss Adams has, which is amazing, and you guys comment about how amazing the dance show is, but I don't know if you know, but there is no more dance show as of now because she cannot help and stay informed. It's just amazing, and it's just sad that there won't be no dance show. So if this gets settled quickly as possible, by whenever the dance show is, there will be a dance show, and I will be able to help emotion, have my command crew students perform in it. But as of now, I'm just kind of stuck with them until after the rally. So I just feel like when I was bullied, this old confidence I have, it's coming back because it's basically being taken away from me. I can't perform. I can't practice in the dance room. It's hard to walk up that hill almost 2 days a week. It's not hard, but it's sad. I shouldn't have to walk up there. I should be in the dance room with my teachers that I love, with my family. I call them my family. We are like a family, like these two members. So I'm not going to say the exact words that everyone has been saying for the last few times. We've been having over 9 months coming to this meeting, having to say, please give you the money, please give us the money. You know what we want, and I just hope you guys understand what I'm asking for, and the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Folks.
Good evening. Last year at Bridgeway Island, our class size increased at all grade levels, and increasing our class sizes allows the district administrators to squeeze more students into our classrooms without the added expense of hiring additional teachers. So, for example, before last year in K3, our classes had 20 students. That's 5 teachers for every 100 students. With our current class size of 24, to be raised to 25 in the future, the school district is only paying 4 teachers for the same 100 kids. Our workload is increased by 25% without a pay increase. If you are crunching numbers somewhere over in the district office, financially, that's a great thing. Money is being saved by cutting the number of teachers needed. I don't know how those savings are being used. Maybe there is some great program or talented administrator or program specialist being funded. But the cost of 1 fewer teacher for every 100 students is not an insignificant sum. In any other profession, taking on more work to save the company money would merit a raise. As a professional, I don't like the idea of being among the lowest paid teachers in the region. If Washington Unified were among the highest paid, we could achieve our goal of being the gateway to extraordinary possibilities instead of being the exit to extraordinary possibilities. Please settle now and let me get back to doing what I love. Thank you.
Thank you. We are at our 20 minutes, so I would need a motion to
I'll make a
extend the time.
motion to extend for
Second.
another 25 minutes if necessary.
Great.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have Lloyd Reber. Can you please?
I feel bad I'm not prepared like everybody else to got my speech, but thank you for letting me speak to you. And I just want to talk to you about my daughters in Westfield Village. She's gone there since kindergarten, first, second, now she's in third grade. 2 of her 3 former teachers are gone somewhere else to get more pay. You know, I teach my daughter not to talk to strangers, but every year I send her to a school where there's new strangers every year, new teachers. And I want to save those teachers, save the good teachers, you know, so she can go back and talk to her teacher, kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher, second grade teacher. She can't, they're gone. So I asked that you would settle this so that she can go talk to her teacher as she grows with a family of teachers and school board. You know, my profession, I get a raise every year, and I expect that for my daughter's teachers as well. You know, we had a, you know, crisis with I do construction, so we had a hit a few years back, and I understand we didn't get a raise, we didn't get, you know, lost some jobs and stuff, and well, now the economy's picking back up, and we're moving back up, and the economy's picking up for construction, then it means it's picking up for everywhere else. You know, there's more money to be spent, more funds to be distributed, and I asked that they would be distributed to the teachers and that we can save our good teachers. So, thank you.
Thank you. Daisy Poi? Daisy, did I pronounce your last name correctly? Can you?
Yes,
correct-
thank you. My name is Daisy Po'oi, and before I have to bring out the ugly in me, because I hate politics, I hate being in front, I like supporting from the back, I like to share that I'm proud to be Tongan. And if you look up that island, it would read Friendly Islands, because in our culture, we're all about family, we're all about community, and something that drives me my entire life, what I'm so passionate about, is family and community. And I dedicate everything inside me and out to family and community. Many people see teachers as a free service. A free service their children are entitled to, especially in public schools. We are entitled to many things because we live in a country that allows us to prosper from the hardworking fruits that individuals who dedicate and sacrifice their lives for others. 2 types of careers make up this nation: Marines, Navy, Army, all military personnel, and teachers. They give selflessly. I looked it up. To be selfless is someone concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own self. They are the biggest contributors to our society so that we as free people can prosper from the fruits of their hard labor. Those fruits are our children. Teachers don't get the recognition they're entitled to, nor the respect they deserve. Respect, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, and achievements. Respect is earned and not given. It is defined in the families and the teachers who are here with us tonight and who have supported us these last several months. I may have only gotten involved the last month, but the support has been awesome, and I thank everybody out there for reaching out. The reality is, many don't value or see education as a business. Like every working individual out there, you have a boss. Some have CEOs. Well, in this business of education, your CEO is the superintendent, and working individuals like myself are the teachers. CEOs and those in power make the most money. Why? Because we depend on them to run a successful business. But when the business fails, do we keep paying the CEOs the big bucks while the company goes to crap? Teachers are not a free service and expect to be compensated a fair wage like everyone else. This fair salary allows them to be a part of this community and afford living here in West Sacramento and teaching in this district, not anywhere else. Teachers are professional employees. Teachers have a set time to be at work and a set time to leave. Just like all of us, we call those paid hours. Across the nation, teachers choose this profession knowing they will give up everything and anyone around them to do a damn good job at being a teacher. These people willingly choose this profession because they're passionate about it and have no problem dedicating the rest of their life to the empowerment of our futures. How many employees out there, full-time like myself, work at 8 to 5, would go overtime or work early, give up their lunch, everything, and just say, I'm not going to record those overtime. Why don't you guys just keep that? It's unrealistic for teachers to work within their contracts. I would like to trust that the board is standing with our teachers, but my frustration also goes out to the district. This contract issue is not just about educating our youth, it's about a business that goes far beyond what we're talking about, just salary. It goes past that. Stop looking at our kids and our teachers as expense items on your financials. Put your money where your mouth is. And if you say our kids come first, then pay our teachers what they are asking for. Fair compensation for the love that they give to our community. Because right now, it looks to me that the big people on top making decisions, I'm going to put the blame on the district because you guys are the ones who are failing to lead this community, or we wouldn't be in this situation at all. If money is such an
Stacey,
issue...
I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up because you're over your 3 minutes.
All right, I'll wrap it up. If money is such an issue, then I challenge the superintendent and all the administration across. And I believe that you shared at Welcome Back to School that you guys make the same money as teachers. Well, if that's the case, I challenge superintendent, you make $183,000. Why don't you sit back and take the salary of our top paying teacher and let's see if you can do your job without failure. This isn't just about money, it's about respect. I want quality pay for our quality teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Sally Manhuan. Thank you, Sally.
That was very close.
And after her, I'll say that we have Frances Harrell. So,
Hi, good evening. I also didn't prepare anything, but I was in my classroom till 5 o'clock. I'm a Natomas Unified School District teacher, and I know what a heartbreak it is for teachers to have to work to rule. I know how it hurts children. I just wanted to come and speak on behalf of the teachers here in the city that I love, where I live, where I grew up. I think we're a really progressive city. We have a lot to be proud of, and that we don't value our teachers and our educational process the way that we value our development is really sort of, it's a head scratcher for me. I don't understand it. And I also just want to say that for 12 years, I have been contributing to the congestion on Highway 80 with hundreds of other very qualified professionals that live in my neighborhood. I would love to teach in this district. I was offered a job twice. I couldn't accept it because it was a $10,000 pay cut for me. I'm a full inclusion teacher. I was trained at Sac State. I'm a master teacher for the university. I would love nothing more than to be able to provide robust educational, full inclusive, full membership educational experiences for the kids in my city. And one more thing. I was looking out, watching the teachers walk up and down the street. We would never ask firemen to do that. We would never think to ask a police officer to do that because we would feel the immediate effects of stopping that service. But that we don't understand that undervaluing education is why we have police officers and why we have community support people. It's all connected. We're all connected. There is no space between us. So if one person is out, we're all out. If these kids aren't getting what they need, none of us are getting what we need. So even if we ended this today, even if it ended tonight, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to catch these kids up, to catch this community up. And so I would just appeal to your sense of community as a parent. Even if you don't have a child, we all prosper from an educated community. So thank you.
thank you. We have Frances Harrell. And then we have Brandy Dion after that.
I'd like to ask Ms. Schroeder and my dad to come up, please. As many of you know, that Stolpe is not my biological father, but he took me in. And without him, I would have been a total miss. I would have went to marijuana like half of my family does. I would have dropped out of school, I wouldn't be in college right now. If it wasn't for the endless summer days that I spent with Ms. Schroeder in the classroom, helping kids with their work, I wouldn't be determined to get through school myself. Without these two, I wouldn't know what family is. Ms. Schroeder has done buyouts. She hasn't got paid for it. And I know multiple teachers who haven't got paid for their buyouts. And they have 190 kids a day. That's unacceptable. The last time I stood in front of the board, I was asking for you guys to give money to Ms. Schroeder for her academic outreach program, which you guys granted, and I appreciate so much because I helped her start that program, and it has made a big difference in the entire school. There's football players that have never played because of their grades, and because of her, you almost have a whole football team, and some you can't even keep on the team because there's too much. So having someone stay after school multiple hours and give their time for what? Like what? Why can't they get what they deserve? We're dragging this out for what? I just ask for you guys to do the right thing. My brother graduates from the Army, and we can't even afford to go see him. Thank you.
So we have Brandy, and after Brandy, we have Deborah Rodriguez.
Good evening. I'm a mother of 3. I have twin daughters, Caitlin and Adeline, in 3rd grade at Bridgeway Island. My youngest son, Augustus, will enter TK in your district next year. I'm not sure what more can be said that hasn't been said already regarding the teacher contracts. I purchased my home in West Sacramento specifically so my children could attend Bridgeway Island. I love my neighborhood, my community. I love our school. What I love about our school is our teachers. Having twins has doubled the teachers I have met over the past 4 years. Ms. Pagan, Mrs. Belk, Mrs. Wachowski, Mrs. Lyon, Ms. Jubei, Mrs. D, and Ms. Hakala, and we're looking forward to Mr. Folks' return. Our teachers who have made an impact on my children. They are loving, they care about my children, and they care about our community. Many of them living right here are taxpayers, they're voters. Our entry-level teachers start off pretty comparable to neighboring districts. But did you know if you're a teacher with a master's degree and 6 years of teaching experience, you can drive across the river to Natomas Unified and make $9,000 or $10,000 more a year? Every day, my best friend passes her former elementary and high school, leaving her hometown on her way to work. She also receives $425 a year for her classroom supplies. Why don't you ask teachers in this room what their supply budget is for the classroom each year? West Sacramento is up and coming. Home values are increasing, which means property taxes are increasing. If we want to attract quality workers and taxpayers, also voters, to our community, we have to offer quality pay, quality benefits, and retention programs to keep our employees here and not leave after a few short years. We do not want to be a stepping stone community. The Huffington Post published an article last year regarding teacher retention. Here's an excerpt from the article. A lack of investment in teachers at the front end of their careers is likely to blame for their disloyalty to the profession. That creates a revolving door system, which is especially damaging in a field so highly dependent on relationships. Not surprisingly, a study conducted by the National Bureau of Economic Research indicates that students in schools with high turnover rates score lower in both ELA and math. Education researchers conclude that student success is dependent on teacher retention. Perhaps higher test scores and attendance is the district's driving force. But do you know what the driving force is for these teachers? Because it's obviously not their paycheck. It's our children. It's my children. They want to make a difference in our community, which is why they're still here. But at some point, they will break. At some point, you will lose teachers like Miss Pagan. Young teachers who are damn good and want so much to make a difference by teaching. My daughters have another 5 years at Bridgeway until they move on to River City, assuming that's where we will send them. I look forward to them meeting teachers like Marlena Schroeder, Lindsay Sawyer, Christy Dornan, Peter Goritz, Mr. Watkins, Catherine Foreman, and Colin Mack, or as my girls like to call him, the Cat Man. But my question is, will they even be here? Why is this still going on? Why did teachers even start the year without a contract? I think we can all agree this has gone on too far. This needs to be settled now.
Thank you. After Deborah Rodriguez, we have Kelly Roman.
My name is Deborah Rodriguez, and I'm a Spanish teacher at River City High School. I'm here today, not scared, not desperate, but angry. I'm angry because I'm being forced to make a choice between the school and the children that I love and my future, happiness, and my sanity. I feel as if I'm in an abusive relationship, and my love for my kids is being used against me and holding me here in a terrible situation. I'm angry because I'm here. We're all here, and we could be somewhere else. We could be with our families, our friends, participating in a favorite pastime, or literally just anywhere else but here. I'm angry because we've been without a contract for 16 months. Hold on, I misspoke. I'm not angry. I'm livid. I'm appalled that you sit there and tell me that we want the same things. And yet there has been no movement in negotiations since last fall. There hasn't even been a bargaining meeting until 2 weeks ago, until today. I am wearing lime green from head to toe. Okay. Doing unity stands every morning, working to contract, and all to make a point about the importance of teachers, and we want the same things. The worst part is you've admitted that we may just think it's words. You've tried to reassure us, claimed that things will get sorted out soon. You've manipulated us. It is just words. Words from people who voters trusted to act in our best interest and in the best interest of our children. We've taught your children. I have taught your children. I have taught you. And you should be fighting for us. And we are still fighting. We're fighting to do our jobs in the best way we can, but our hands are tied. And we want to work here. And we care so much. I have cried myself home on several occasions in the last few weeks with the depth of my anguish. My colleagues and I work so hard for our kids here, but eventually we will make a choice and leave them, leave our home here, because we cannot stay in a disrespectful relationship that abuses our love. This district has been taking advantage of us because we are loyal and care about our kids. And how long will the abuse continue? I, for one, will not endure it for much longer. Thank you.
Thank you. After Kelly Roman, we have Jackie Rodriguez.
Hello. My name is Kelly Roman. This is my husband, Marcus. This is my son, MJ, and my daughter, Kelly. We also have two other daughters. One graduated from River City last year, and one's currently attending River City now. Before our 9-year-old started kindergarten, we were living in Natomas and researching all the school districts in the area. After much discussion, we determined that West Sacramento Unified School District would be best for our children. My husband and I are strong proponents of continuous education for our children from kindergarten through high school. We feel very strongly about our children beginning their education and staying in the district all the way through high school. It was our priority to start our children in a school district with strong parent involvement, high testing scores, teacher participation, after-school programs, community involvement, and athletics. After doing our research, we picked up our family and we moved to West Sacramento to make our home. My husband and I both work here in West Sacramento, which means we barely leave West Sacramento. We eat at the local restaurants, we shop here, our kids are involved in athletics, so on. Basically, my point is, because of the West Sacramento Unified School Districts years ago, our family moved to West Sacramento and we've brought our revenue to West Sacramento. I want to ask you this: how many families are currently looking at school districts right now, and how much revenue have you lost the city of West Sacramento because of the fight of the teacher contracts? I look at the teachers as the school district's employees, and I know that any time a company invests in their employees, the company thrives. By paying the teacher what they deserve, it will allow them to put this ordeal and stress behind them and focus their attention back on being the hardworking, always available teachers that brought my family to West Sacramento. I believe this will continue to allow West Sacramento to prosper. If these contracts are not settled, it will force a lot of these incredible teachers to leave. You could probably hire teachers with much less qualified at a lower salary, but what will that do to the level of education our children receive? How many families will leave West Sacramento? What impact will you have on this overall city? Our teachers are not where you sacrifice the budget. What is the point of investing millions of dollars, which I heard at the last board meeting, into upgrading our schools if we don't have the quality teachers to fill them?
That's right.
I've had the pleasure of having Mrs. Sabatke, Miss Pinky, Miss Tagg, Miss O'Donnell, Mr. Perrine, Miss Berger, and Miss Rasky all teach these younger kids. Every year, I always thought I could not get a better teacher than the previous year, and every year these teachers continue to astonish me. These teachers love what they do. They're always answering my texts and calls, trust me, it's a lot, after hours, and they're consistently building up my children. They continue to look for different ways to teach not only my children, but each individual kid in their class. West Sacramento teachers not only help to educate our children, they help to raise them. Most parents are overworked, and with most families having both parents working, it is now more than ever important to have the help of our teachers. On a Saturday morning on our own time, Miss Rasky came to my son's basketball game. She didn't know at the time, but that game I could not attend. And it killed me that I couldn't show support for my son. But what that showed my son was that he was loved by more people than just his own parents. It helped to grow his self-confidence, which will help to raise him and all of these children into loving, self-reliant, and successful adults. And with that, I'll finish up. But I strongly ask and plead with you that the school board please understand the urgency in settling teacher contracts and understand the importance or the impact this is having on our children and our community. Thank you.
We have Jackie Rodriguez.
Hi, I'm Jackie Rodriguez. I'm just gonna sort of repeat myself, well, Olivia, right there, because I don't think you guys were paying attention, so I'm gonna say it again. Anyways, I am speaking tonight as a representative of the Wanted Dance Crew. Since the work to contract was implemented a few weeks ago, our dance crew has been faced more hardship than should be acceptable. We've lost our area to practice, and our staff supervisors, we've being forced to practice in obscure random locations. As a result out of the work to contract, we have also lost members of our dance crew, negatively impacting the quality of performance that we can achieve. Wanted is not only a club or after-school activity that has been affected by the work to contract, it is diminishing both the quality of our education and the school morale. If your true interest lies with the students, then why don't you show it? Also, do I still got time? Oh, I still got time. Anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, man. I forgot what I was going to say. I, had it all planned out. I'm a really angry person, and I wouldn't want you guys to get on that side. But anyways, I've had a hard life. You guys don't know me, but I've had difficulties. Some of these teachers, like Marine, Miss Wright, Mr. Baggs, who's not here, they've all helped me in a way, so I wouldn't have to go through such difficult things. Not having them here would be really hard. You guys don't know what you guys would be taking from me. And also, I don't like pity faces, so please don't make them. I don't want your pity. I don't like it. I don't have anything else to say because I'll get angry. Thank you.
We are at our 25 minutes, so I would, 1, 2, 3, 6.
I'll make a motion to extend for an additional 10.
Second.
Thank you, okay. We have Ashley Oshwanga, I believe. Is there Ashley here? We have a Christina Goodwin. And then after Christina Goodwin would be Lourdes Cortino.
Hi, it's Godwin, but that's okay.
Oh, thank you.
whatever.
Sorry. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Christina Godwin. I have a son in Alice Norman Special Care, and then I also have a son at Elkhorn. The teachers that have helped my family grow through our whole autistic journey have been Mr. Hugh, Miss Leone, and Mrs. Fowler. So I will start. We as parents are concerned that our well-trained and experienced teachers are leaving our district as better paying opportunities arise. Our children will suffer. Their teachers, whom they love, are being treated unfairly, and they suffer. Our children's educational foundations are being built upon the trust they harbor for their educations and educators. I am a parent of a special needs child. He and his teachers share a rapport that is very similar to the rapport that shares with my family. If the teachers were to strike, my son will not be attending class. Having him adjust to another teacher will be detrimental to the advancement of all of his education goals that we have made thus far with the teachers he has in place right now. Our children are West Sacramento's future. They're treating the very people that they trust to build our future and their futures like they are worthless is wrong. You are all treating them very wrong. What grudge do you bear with the very people you trust your children with? Why have you not done your due diligence to settle the teacher contracts? Since the district has received the largest increase into the budget, plus a one-time monies, why are you not giving the teachers what they deserve? What is dragging your feet? Pick them up. This is our future, this is our community, and we need you. Thank you.
And then Ashley is here, so after Lourdes, can you help me pronounce your name, please?
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Lourdes Quintero, no sé si
Thank you.
puedo
And
hablar en
Ashley.
español. Mi nombre es Lourdes, tengo 25 años en el distrito. He visto muchas caras aquí que me ha tocado ver por muchos años. Ninguno de ustedes ha estado atrás, como nosotros, como papás. Hemos visto maestros que entran y salen, maestros que adoran a nuestros hijos, que llevan a nuestros hijos por muy buen camino, que se quedan a trabajar horas extras sin sueldo. Conozco maestros de Elkhorn que he estado ahí como por 14 años, maestro Marín, Angelina Ramírez, maestros que están por gusto, que no es necesariamente la profesión de trabajo, es el gusto de atender a nuestros hijos. Entonces, se me hace ridículo estar pensando en cosas de que vamos a traer a una persona que nos asesore de cómo atraer a estas personas, de cómo nosotros podemos estar aquí. Ustedes mismas tienen hijos y están en horas extras. Ahora, ustedes mismas necesitan del apoyo de los maestros con los programas que ellos tienen. De esos programas que nosotros nos estamos beneficiando, del contrato de los maestros. Hay maestros que con contrato, sin contrato, se quedan hasta después de horas, llegan a su casa a revisar tareas, a estar fuera de tiempo sin pago. Entonces, lo que yo estoy diciendo es, dejemos de cosas ridículas. Este es el momento de apoyar a los maestros, nosotros como papás, nosotros como comunidad y ustedes que en el momento que estuvieron ahí pidieron nuestro apoyo para llevarlos a esa silla. Nosotros como comunidad estamos pidiendo el apoyo para apoyar a los maestros que están aquí presentes y a los que están allá abajo gritándonos. Así es de que piensen lo que estamos haciendo con los programas, con todo lo que se está perdiendo, porque los beneficiarios son nuestros hijos. No queremos las calles llenas de delincuentes. Nosotros queremos a nuestros hijos con una carrera y con un porvenir que nos beneficie a todos. Y he dicho. Buenas noches y un aplauso fuerte para los maestros.
Thank you. We have Ashley Oshwaga. Okay. And then we have Maricela Michelle after.
Good evening. I was just, while I was waiting, I was kind of thinking of a word to summarize what I wanted to discuss right now. And it's more like a phrase, but it's separation anxiety. Every summer, that's what my son experiences. Every single summer. He cries his eyes out uncontrollably for days at a time, or whenever he runs across something from a teacher that he had the previous year or the year before or the year before. It happens every single year. Now, I can relate to this because I grew up as a foster child, and I moved around a lot. And every time I had to relocate, there was this missing bond. And it is crucial for him. It helps with his separation anxiety to come back the following year and be able to revisit the teacher. You can't do that when the teacher has to leave. Last week, I found out that I have to leave. We lost our house, so now we have to move out of town because currently I'm a foster parent. And that was my dominant source of income. And with that, and a low credit score, I don't qualify for anything within this region. So again, my son is facing separation anxiety because he is so attached to this school. He goes to Elkhorn Elementary. Every teacher has been extremely supportive of both him and all of my foster children. I brought maybe a dozen kids there, all of which have IEPs or some sort of disability or some extreme behaviors. Currently, I have a child there with massive behaviors, and they tolerate them. They try their best to mold them, shape them, and treat them equally to all the other children in the classroom. Even though they're wreaking havoc on the school, they don't give up on my kids. I'm devastated that I have to leave because I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to ever find that again. I get kids that have seen drugs and guns, murder. I've seen murder. When my mom died, she was murdered. And the main people in my life that supported me when she was murdered were my teachers. And when I had to leave my elementary school, the same way these teachers are having to leave the school where they teach at, it's separation anxiety all over again. And it's devastating to the kids. It's something that is missing, and it's like this. It almost feels like somebody died. Like that's almost what it feels like. When I had to relocate, like I was crushed. Every time I've had a drastic catastrophe in my life, that is who I remember was there for me, to support me, go the extra mile, work with me. My teacher was responsible for getting me into college. She drove me to Fresno State University. My high school teacher drove me there. That's not a teacher's job to do. She took me to church on Sundays. Had it not been for her, maybe I wouldn't have graduated, because as a teenager, I was suicidal. And I had severe behavioral issues. I was getting kicked out of schools left and right because I had a lot of anger. But through all the people, the most stable people in my life were my teachers. They were the most supportive. They were always there for me. I can't even say the same thing for everybody in my foster home that I was around. My teachers were the most stable influence on me. They helped shape who I have become today. My teachers, even my professors at my university, they supported me when I was going through hard times. It's always been somebody in some educational position that has always been there for me. So please stop this separation anxiety. Thank you.
We have Marcella Michelle.
Buenas noches a todos. Primero que nada, muchas gracias por la oportunidad que me dieron para hablar. Pues estoy aquí como madre de familia, preocupada como la mayoría de muchos que están aquí. Y me gustaría hacer referencia particularmente a la educación de mis hijos, porque la mayoría, bueno, tengo 3, y todos han necesitado ayuda de los maestros. Y cuando yo se los he pedido, ellos, sin pensarlo 2 veces, los han ayudado bastante. Gracias a ellos, mis hijos se han graduado, 2 de ellos. Me queda todavía la más chiquita, que está en 6º grado. Tiene bastantes problemas con matemáticas. Y pues me daría tristeza que por perder a algunos de los maestros, si no les ayudan ustedes a resolver esta situación por la que están pasando, se tengan que ir de la escuela. Desde que tengo conocimiento, estoy pues involucrada en la educación de mis hijos siempre, pero me abstuve un tiempo, ¿verdad?, de estar viniendo a las reuniones, pero ahora me doy cuenta por la situación que están pasando y me gustaría que se resolviera de la mejor manera, sin necesidad de que se fueran a una huelga o algo así.
No, no es que la huelga se va a hacer. Nosotros como papás la huelga la vamos a hacer y nosotros nos vamos a unir a no mandar a nuestros hijos.
Exacto.
Y nos vamos a quedar parados frente a la escuela porque no vamos a dejar entrar a nuestros hijos.
Hasta
si
que no se
agarran.
resuelva esta situación.
Es lo que pensamos.
Es lo que pensamos.
Vamos a todo, vamos con huelga. Y adelante los maestros.
Estamos con ustedes.
Okay, that, our time is up.
More do we have?
We have 2.
I'll extend it
Thank
for
you.
another 3 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you. We have
no, sir.
No, I'm sorry. We have 2 people who have filled out a form to speak. So I'm going to call the 2 people who filled out.
the last.
Until, I have to go off of who's filled out a blue slip.
It's
So
gonna
I'm
be-
going to ask
Hang on a
for Tina, Monsieur. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. I'll do my best. Thank you. And then we have Laura Valdez. Thank you. And then we're going to move on to our information discussion items.
Okay. So I realize you guys are away from your families too, and everyone's had an awesome opportunity to speak. So I kind of want to summarize my super long essay into something super short. So I just want to start by saying that I've been a West Sacramento resident all my life. My mother was born and raised here as well, and I plan to raise my children here. I currently have a son who is going to kindergarten at Stonegate Elementary School. So I'm hoping that our family roots will remain in West Sacramento because we love the city, our families are here, and we have pride in being here. As you know, we're obviously all here on behalf of the teachers because we value them and we want them to stay. So I kind of just want to come and explain the impact that the teachers at the district have had on my life. I didn't have a super crazy childhood and a super traumatizing childhood like most people. I did live with a single mom, which is a struggle. And I feel like the teachers that I encountered were kind of that missing support system that I needed. I went to Westmore Elementary, had an awesome experience there. Went to Golden State when it was still in middle school, had an awesome experience there. But really the impact on my life started when I was at River City. I had a lot of teachers throughout my time there, but I had a few who kind of left a lasting impact on my academic career and my career as a professional in the workforce. So to name a few, John Fogel, who was my avid teacher all 4 years, Amy Goldman and Susan Smith, who were my advanced placement English teachers, Don Stoffer, who was my AP chemistry teacher, and I'm sure you guys all know him super well, and Shelley Alton, who is actually not a teacher at the district anymore. And I kind of want to emphasize her because she was my leadership teacher. And so I was both involved in Avid in leadership and had a real passion for it. Shelley was a very dedicated, super knowledgeable, and super, I can't even think of the word. Anyways, leadership teacher. They taught me skills like how to be outspoken, how to public speak, how to have an opinion, and how to speak on behalf of people who don't have a voice, which is kind of what we're doing today. And unfortunately, like most teachers, Shelley left the district to go to El Camino High School in search of a better salary. So I remember when she left, I was actually really devastated because, like most people here have stated, they've created a real bond with some of these teachers, and that's kind of what Shelley was for me. I was kind of going through a rough patch in my sophomore year, and she kind of rode me like my mom, and I really appreciated that. And I think I attribute my success in high school and in college and in my professional career to Miss Alton. But I remember when she left, I felt super betrayed. Like, why is our city not good enough for you? Why is our school not good enough for you? And like, why are we not good enough for you? At the time, I respected her choice, but at the end of the day, I didn't understand it until I myself went to school to be a social worker. Graduated from Sac State with a degree in social work, and it was then that I realized that I truly understand why she left. Like I'm saying, my degree in social work has made me realize that teachers and social workers are the same in the sense that they're undervalued, undercompensated, and super overworked. And the things that I've seen just in my professional career are things that most people probably can't even fathom. But I feel like I have to choose between having a career that pays me well so I can take care of my family, or have a career that I can make a severe impact on someone's life, but I can't because I need to choose money to take care of my family like all these teachers. So I get their stance. My point in all of this is just to kind of explain that without the teachers that I mentioned, I probably would have still gone to college, but I don't know if I would have been successful in college. And I just think that if we're going to promote the city and try to turn West Sacramento into this new and upcoming city and change the once reputation that it had, and all these people are coming into the city thinking that's this great thing, but then we don't have the school system to match it like other people have indicated, it just doesn't make sense to me. I had a lot more to say, but I'm kind of nervous, and I know I'm out of time.
And your 3 minutes are up. But
I know,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And our last public comment for the evening is Laura Valdez.
Hi, I'm Laura Valdez. I'm a senior at River City High School, and I've had the great privilege of attending such a good school with such invested teachers, and I can't help but feel hurt at the fact that they're not getting what they deserve. They're not coming at you guys with like a sense of like self-entitlement. They're coming at you because they've worked so hard and invested so much into each of their students. Like, a raise in salary shouldn't be like something they should even have to ask for. I mean, all of these students that are here today, they're here because they've had such a huge impact. Their teachers have had such a huge impact on them. It's just, it saddens me to see like so many people here, see so many people so affected, and to see so many people pour their hearts out. And we're seeing that not a lot is getting done, or things aren't getting done as quickly as they could be. I've lived here most of my life, and I've met such great teachers that have helped me so much. They've just invested like so much into me, and to like standing up here to me is like nothing to like repay them. Like talking here is just a little bit of what I can do to show my support, because like education is so important in our society. I don't understand as to like why they're not getting paid what they should be getting paid. To wrap this up, because I'm a bit nervous, just settle. I mean, they've invested so much, they've helped so much. They're not asking for too much. This is just the least that could be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody who came and filled out a blue slip. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming and doing that. And we have a processor, I'm sorry. And you have been heard. We hear you very loudly and clearly, and thank you for giving up your time to be here. We appreciate you. So moving on, we are going to information discussion items, and we'll give just a minute for people to move around as we welcome up Cindy Tuttle and Chris Sorowski with West Sacramento Parks and Rec, and the project manager.
Why does everybody leave when? I mean, I want to make comments and respond to some of these, and now it's like.
She moved it late. I know, it wasn't ours.
Because this is fully unfair. We get beat up on.
Okay, thank you, okay. Okay, not as much of an audience, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for waiting, for being here. We very much appreciate you.
You want me to begin?
And
or
it
do you-
does say Scott Landsberger, but he is currently still in our negotiation meeting.
So you want me to start?
That would be, we'll give maybe just a minute. Is your mic on?
Yes. Yes, it's on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Chair,
Thank you.
members of the board. My name is Cindy Tuttle. I am the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of West Sacramento, and we really appreciate this opportunity to address you this evening regarding what we believe is a fabulous opportunity to move forward with the implementation of the Bright Park Master Plan that all of us here in the community work so diligently on and have been working very hard to implement over the last couple of years. We have identified a $1 million grant opportunity to begin what we're referring to as Phase 3 for Bright Park. There is one little glitch, however, with this grant application in that we have to have a 30-year land tenure agreement. Our current agreement is only 20 years, and so we came to you today to be able to discuss this opportunity. I want to take just a second and tell you what this grant could do. This grant is specifically for youth recreational opportunities that are directed at soccer, baseball, basketball. Chris Sarofsky did hand out a revised document to you. You'll notice that the tennis courts and some other items have now become optional since our first discussions with you at the 2x2. And that is, we met with the OGAL's representatives from the state and specifically asked about what would be authorized in the grant. Tennis courts are not authorized in this grant. However, we do believe that we can fund those optionally through some additional funding that the city has that we'll be using towards this project. So that's why you'll notice we have those little red stars on there as optional items that we would include in the build-out of this phase, but they would not be included in the grant application that we'll be seeking, which is due November 1st. So again, the discussion here tonight is to really talk about whether or not we might be able to amend our existing agreement so that we can meet the terms of the grant requirements for a 30-year agreement from the date the grant is awarded. We did provide some sample language. In addition, it has to have a termination clause for cause. We just can't terminate for no reason. I think we all realize that the district and the city have a long-standing relationship of being able to do collaborative projects that result in a lot of great assets for our community, and we're just hoping that we can take this to the next level to again, expand the opportunities at Bright Park. And we're happy to answer any question. Chris Sarofsky is here. He's the guru of project management and can speak to more specifics about what we would be looking at specifically on that site as far as soccer fields and basketball opportunities. But the real issue here tonight is about the land tenure agreement.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I have some questions. Why 31 years? What, is that a requirement from the state for the grant that you're seeking, and what is the grant? I haven't seen the language on it.
Yeah, the grant is the California Youth Soccer and Recreation Development Program grant through OGALS, through the Department of Parks and Recreation, through the state of California. And it does require that you have a 30-year ongoing agreement. So at the time the grant is awarded, and so that's why the idea is to do 31 years with you're continually renewing the grant so that you're never out of compliance with the requirements.
But that basically, I mean, that's ongoing. There's no termination there, so that can continue on.
That's correct.
Indefinitely.
That's correct.
Beyond the 31 years?
Unless you terminate for cause. You'd have the ability to terminate for cause.
See, I have some real concerns because as our city grows, you know, I don't want to give away school property. We may need to build schools on that. So that's one of my concerns when I saw this language.
There is a school on it. This is
It
the
may-
park part
but
of it.
Yes, but we may need more space, Katie. This is one of my concerns with something like this. I mean, our population is growing. So
I don't think it's
I'm a little
growing in that
hesitant.
area, though. I think we have some school plans, and that would be a cause, right, Sarah?
Well, that would be considered a cause. If
Yeah.
you needed to terminate the agreement because you needed to build a school on the site, that would be considered cause, and you could terminate the agreement based on that.
Can I just ask some follow-up, following on that? What are some of the four causes? I got what Katie said, building a school or extending out onto the school property a little bit more so we can build for more space. What are some of the other causes potentially?
It's a good question. It might be a good question for legal, but I could think like a natural disaster, if there was an act of nature
Okay.
that destroyed the facility.
Flood.
No, I get that now.
Yeah,
Okay, I understand that language. Gotcha.
It's not just because, oh, well, we don't want to do it anymore.
No, I get that. No.
We had a presentation at the 2x2. Sarah and I have been involved in this for, I don't know, the whole time we've been on the 2x2, I think. And we're super excited about this opportunity at Bright Park. This is huge for us. And, we did the agreement for 20 years. It's already existing for 20 years. This is just adding 10 more years to that, basically. But we need services, Norman. You and I have worked on services over there, and I believe you helped me at the Disney Kaboom Park, and that was a huge coup to get in our community. And the city is already working on phase 2 of that. This is phase 3. So this is just continuing to add money. It's an opportunity for the city to get $1 million, correct? To do all these improvements. And it's going to be nothing but better in that neighborhood that desperately needs services and a park and programming and everything else that goes along with that. So I'm super excited about this opportunity and look forward to working with you on it.
I guess my concern is I don't understand why our district isn't taking or leading on this grant.
They can't. It has to be a city, right? It has to be run by the city.
So you're saying it
Parks
has to be
and Rec.
run by the city. So if our
Yeah, we
if our
did-
district had applied for this, they would have been denied for this $1 million grant if we had gone after this grant. I guess that's what I'm
School districts
asking.
don't build parks.
No, I understand that. I understand.
Yeah,
that,
we
but
did
so-
ask, Commissioner Acala, though, we did ask if we could do a joint application between the school district and the city, because that would have satisfied them, because you guys have ownership of the land, and it is not allowed to do a joint application. We would have loved to have done a joint application, because I think that would have sent a really phenomenal message to the community about the school district and the city working in conjunction. But again, with our meeting, we had a one meeting with OGALS, and it's not permitted. Yeah.
I guess one of my concerns is, I've had in my possession this City of West Sacramento memorandum on July 20th, 2016 on Bright Park and the groupie funds. And they did a breakdown on what was it? It was $3 million to compensate for the loss of recreational amenities. And they did a breakdown. One of my big concerns was the Bright Park Master Plan phase. It was $1,102,662. My understanding that was for an architect. And that's 64% of the plan.
No, that's not correct. That's 1 million, that amount was for design and construction.
Design and construction.
So the actual design cost was $96,000. Right now, we're at 80% design, working on 100% design. Once we get the 100% design, it'll go to DSA, Division of State Architects, for review and approval, and then we'll be able to start
And
construction.
that would complete phase, you're saying, that would complete
Phase
phase
2.
And Chris, can you remind us of what
Yeah,
phase 2 is?
so
It's
phase
the-
2 is around the Kaboom Playground. It's going to be the 45-stall parking lot. It's going to be a restroom, a covered picnic area, and a sports court, basketball court.
Right.
We're also going to put a pedestrian crossway that goes across to Alice Norman Park.
I just wanted to say quickly, good job in finding an extra $1 million laying around.
Linda, I have a question. Has our attorney seen this?
So I just wanted to let the board know Scott is working with our legal counsel that works with our facilities. So they are looking over the contract and will be briefing the board on that.
We're not making a decision,
And-
this is.
Yeah, this is
information.
only information.
This is
That's
just
why I'm
information,
asking
right?
now.
And I'm completely in favor of this. I think it's exciting, and my daughter is now playing soccer on the other side because she's little. She's only 5. But the amount of people who are using this park, it's of course an important neighborhood draw, absolutely. But this is a park that is used by the entire city. Everyone in our city goes to this park for soccer. And when we were trekking all around, a little lost on field, new mom for soccer, you can feel the lumps. You can feel the lumps, you can feel, kind of the drainage. And so this is a phenomenal opportunity. And I think the more that we can take advantage of grants, the better. And it's the perfect use of land that the school district does not need. So I am very much in favor, and I know after legal counsel looks over it as well, it would be on consent for the next board meeting after that.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I do agree that we do need services over there. However, I would like to rely on our legal counsel's opinion very much. And once again, it's a growing city. We may say there's no way we're going to need additional room over there for anything else that the district needs, but I'm not willing to make that call right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you in
coming in.
October.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, so that takes us to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I too vote aye. And that takes us to board and superintendent comments. Do I have comments from board trustee?
Sorry.
Board trustee Alcala.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do. Oh, full house, huh? Okay. First, I want to say congratulations to our Lady Raiders, our undefeated Lady Raiders. Someone made, I believe, our young
guy who's
River
not
City,
there.
right? Made mention of that. So congratulations, I think, from all the board. I was also very fortunate to attend the California Latino School Board Association Unity Conference, Transforming the Future. And there was a few things that I took away from there. Actually, there were many, but I'll just mention a few and give everyone else a chance. It's late. I learned the benefits of art and music in our schools. Data shows attendance, grades, and conduct are all enhanced for the students who participate in these disciplines. I've shared some material with our superintendent, and hopefully she'll be able to share some of that information also. I also attended a workshop on the increase of special needs students in California schools and how districts are meeting the needs of these students. It's a big financial impact, obviously, and they are making programmatic changes in many districts. Some of the districts who are making these changes are Gilroy, Montebello, and San Bernardino, who have taken very proactive action. The core discussion was about the need for districts to find innovative ways to get ahead of the special education curve and build capacity internally and for future challenges. And I've been to the California School Board Associations where I think some of us are going to be attending in December, but I really encourage, even if you're not a Latina or Latino, to attend the next Latino School Board Association. It's a little more intimate, and there were some wonderful dialogues that we had while I was at the conference. And then this Monday, I will be at the River City High School doing high school voter registration. So I'm really looking forward to that, and if anyone would like to accompany me, it's a wonderful opportunity to get to talk with our seniors. As of January 1st of 2016, we're actually able to pre-register 16 and 17-year-olds. And I know we all know how important it is for our students to become involved in civic engagement, and this is going to be a great opportunity. Oh, Monday. I know it's tough, you're a teacher, it's hard to get away, but anyone else who would like to come, please come. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to hear what the feedback is from the students. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Board Trustee Pisani.
Yeah, I have a couple of comments. We sat up here for nearly an hour and listened to all the public comments, and it's incredibly difficult to hear time and time again that we don't care about the teachers and we don't care about the students, otherwise we would have settled by now. And what hurts about that is we're all parents and we do care. And it's very frustrating when there's maybe a handful of people in the room that know exactly what's being negotiated, but are forbidden by law to say anything about it. So it's hard, it hurts to hear people say things about you, to get nasty emails, to have people yell at you. It's tough. And, I've only been doing this a year, and I can just tell you, it's, this is what I didn't want to be doing with my time on the board, but I do understand it's part of the job. But I wish we had the opportunity to say what we know and what we feel, because I think we would be in a lot better shape. And I think the trust between the community and the trust between the board and the teachers would be a lot stronger. So with that, I just want to go into a couple of things that I attended this week. I visited Southport for their Constitution celebration this week. That was very great. They had over, I want to say, like 4 or 5 hours worth of singing songs and marching, and it was just amazing. There were tons of parents there hanging out with the kids as they sat on the lawn and watched, all the kids sing and do presentations. It was just amazing. And then I went to Elkhorn for their anti-bullying rally with Sacramento Kings, and that was very nice. And I had a chance to talk with both principals, and I had a chance to speak with Principal Smith about the biliteracy program. And she told me that they have 2 full classrooms of biliteracy students. That is amazing. And she said there was a possibility that there was such a demand that they could have 3 if transportation wasn't an issue. So that was one of the things we talked about. Also, one of the things she had brought up, and I think it's actually a fairly good idea, is many of the parents of the students at Elkhorn are, they speak a different language other than English, and it's hard for them to help their children with their homework, with their education. So what she suggested was, what if we had classes to help parents help their kids with homework in their own language, but also teach them English at the same time. So she said that's something that it would be really beneficial for Elkhorn about, and I think it would really, help the kids and the grades and everybody in general. So that's all I have.
Ready for me?
Yes.
I just want to share a few events. The Children's Alliance, with the help of a lot of sponsors, who I'm forgetting at this time, but we gave away over 500 backpacks to Washington Unified's kids in the end of August, and I didn't get to share that last time, so I was remiss in that. And they were filled with school supplies, age-appropriate school supplies, from preschool to kindergarten, and the staff did a great job at that. I also participated in the River Delta Cleanup, which is always the 3rd Saturday of September. And last year, I believe they had about 4 volunteers. This year, Supervisor Villegas organized a lot of people and a lot of pizza. And they had 140 volunteers out there and literally collected a ton of garbage, a ton. It weighed a ton. And that was between the Tower Bridge and the Pioneer Bridge, just that one little area there. And it was amazing. And we had everybody from Boy Scouts to grandparents to parents with kids on backpacks, and it was a really awesome day, and most everybody was from West Sacramento, and I would encourage all of you to join next year. And it was a great event, and people worked really, really hard. It was a hot day, and they did a great job. And thirdly, there is a Harvest Festival coming up at the West Sacramento Family Resource Center on October 26th, and we're hoping to have a lot of bikes to give away and fun events and games. You're all welcome to join us there. Hoping to get some health screening folks out there, vision screening. It will be a good day from 4 to 6 on October 26th. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, just to read.
Oh, we had a 2x2. Sorry, you can do that one.
Oh, that's right, yes. I might come back to you for the 2x2 piece. We can do it together. So to reiterate a comment that was made earlier tonight when we reported out from closed session, and that was our negotiating teams began meeting this morning at 9 a.m. Our last update when we began this meeting was that they were still meeting and that we are very close on every item, including salary. So as we make progress, we know that there's going to be a deal. We're going to get there. I'm confident we're going to get there. And then we're going to need to really work to come together, because we all know that this has been a painful process, and we don't want to be here again. And we need to all work together. And even my pencil I'm holding, Washington Unified, together we can make a difference. And we don't want to lose the voices who are here tonight, the passionate folks who are in the room, who really, we all need to be on the same team and working together, and looking forward to when we have a deal, working through those relationships. I'm very excited on the consent agenda tonight. One of the items was the River City security gates. Awesome. That was a talk back when we were first walking neighborhoods for talking, not as our role as board members, as our role as community members, for our bond measure. And that is something that families wanted, that is something that students wanted, that's something staff wanted. And so I'm happy to see the River City security gates on the agenda tonight. I also, you may remember, my fellow board colleagues, we had some very sweet student letters about fruit trees at Westmore Oaks Gardens, a whole class full of those letters. And there was some challenges with putting in a mini orchard, but it's on the consent agenda now. They've worked through those pieces, and the students were excited, and I think we can all be excited too. So they have done phenomenal things at their Westmore Oaks garden. Have many of our schools, but I'm excited now we have an orchard going in, and it might be the start for others as well. I wanted to bring up just that I had done my volunteer paperwork for my daughter's classroom, and it was sort of a cumbersome process. And as I was at district office, so you have to get a form, you get the form signed in your office, you have to have somebody there who can release it for you. In my case, nobody was there, and I had to wait for the form to come home. And then you go to district office, and then you get it filled out there, and then you go and do fingerprints and turn it back in. So it was quite the process. And as I was there, I saw another parent who was coming to get her own things done, and with her young daughter. And so the sooner we could get some of that online, I think would be really nice, because as working parents, it's very hard. I have a hard time working and trying to get all of that balanced, and so that I can volunteer, which I absolutely want to do. And I know that other families struggle too, and we do not want that to be a hindrance to get any of them in. And then I would like to thank Andy Parsons, Dr. Parsons, and Amber Lee, who I met with this week. I will talk about this during the homework policy. But aside from that, their vision on professional development that's been happening in the district has been really phenomenal. I mean, I almost had goosebumps talking about their visions and the things that are happening with teachers. And then sure enough, after a conversation and walking out of the room feeling so good, I saw on Facebook a teacher posted, "Wow, what a really great collaboration time we had." And so that just feels good. That's just the way it should be, where teachers feel supported. They feel like their time is meaningful. I personally sat in professional development this morning in a different district, and I wish I had that feeling, because I certainly did not. And so how nice that is to have that here. Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to, we have superintendent, yeah.
Sorry.
Our 2x2.
Our 2x2 to report out. We had a great presentation on Bright, and some really good other information that I wrote down and I don't have in front of me anymore. Do you have anything else?
I have some.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Okay, so for a few things for our 2x2 meeting, we discussed the Bright Park plan that was tonight. We discussed the Liberty development, which looks like 1,500 units beginning the summer of 2017, or the earliest spring 2018, I believe, for some of the homes to go in. And so we talked a little bit about how we need that on our radar as we talk about funding. What does that funding look like? So in the next 3 to 4 years, we'd probably be there with the school development fees, developer funded, extra taxes just for that area. So we'll need to keep that close on our radar. When we were first on the board, we were given that presentation and we said 5 years. And we're kind of having to move that timeline out a little bit.
But I think we're about 4
Yeah.
years out. And the other thing is, you should tell where Liberty Ranch is. It's the Bees Lake area, for those folks that may not know. Kids will be very disappointed that Bees Lake is being taken over by a school. But it's going to be built when there's enough housing, enough rooftops in the area to do that.
Katie, where is that? Is that on the south
So
side?
it's, you know where the Mike McGowan Bridge is?
Sort of.
It's kind of over the levee over in there, but it's in the Stonegate area.
Oh.
So
We
that's
have
where more houses
actually,
are
here's a
planned.
map right here.
So
So
Can I
it's
ask-
kind of over here.
what boundary is that in for which school? Until a new school is built, which boundary?
I don't know
would
that off
be?
the top of my head, and maybe Linda knows that. I know the boundaries are fluid a little bit, but
Okay.
it's near the Stonegate School.
Okay.
And then the other piece is the development. Oh, were you
She's
gonna-
going to say something.
Go ahead.
I was just going to mention that it's my understanding in the Liberty project that the school would be built
Oh, before the,
while the homes are being built as well. The question is where are the funds are coming from in terms of that area. As these other areas are being developed, the school district will need to start looking at boundaries during interim times and based on projections and based on how the economy is in the near future in terms of home sales and construction of the homes, so.
And just as a historian here, you know, both Southport and Bridgeway School were behind schedule. So it always takes longer than you think, and there's always people frustrated and overcrowding at Bridgeway, and so I'd suggest get on it early if you can, but money is a problem, so.
And then we also discussed the Promenade development, which is right next to Bridgeway Island Elementary School. And that will be going in the spring, I guess this coming spring going in, and fall 2017 as well, another 100 units going in. It's a total of 220 units. And based on our demographic reports, the district has done, our last one was 2014 to 2015. And it was projected by Superintendent Landsberger that we would have roughly 100 students there spread out across the grades. He felt that that they probably would be able to be absorbed there, but it's definitely a tight area. We know that Bridgeway is already a school that is full.
So,
sorry,
Sarah,
capacity.
I have a question. So that projection, how far in advance does the city make projections about these demographics?
It's
or
actually
who is it?
This is our
district.
demographic.
Okay,
This is
so
the
our
Washington
demographics,
Unified.
how far in advance, I mean, how far
On
in
a
advance
5-year
is that?
plan at least.
5-year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
when you say
A
that.
5-year
I believe
plan.
the update he said too, is once we started developing again, is that it would look at even a smaller span than that, but because there had not been as much development, it had progressed longer.
And it's fascinating, actually, if Scott ever gives you a tutorial on it, because it's based on births, and, you know, it takes those kids a while to get to kindergarten, and it's not an
5
exact
years.
science, but he's done pretty well with that.
And then the last piece we discussed was the River School site.
Projections are made.
And as we know, the city council had made a requirement for the developer of the rivers that there needed to be a school site before more development can go on. We also know that we had approved, this board has approved a charter school, Lighthouse Charter School, and in their petition, that address is in their petition. That is the space that their petition says that they will be housed there. And so we need to keep that close on our radar, because we were told that they have been talking with Lighthouse to work with them, but also have been working with another charter outside of the city. And that would certainly be a conflict for us as we move on.
And I just had one more update. I had received a note about school lunches, Linda, and I was just curious of what our process is for that, and if there's an easy way that parents can, I know when my son ran out of money, which he always had a school lunch, it was a problem for me to always get down there. I worked and I couldn't always get down and pay his lunch. Do we do that online, or is there any way to make that an easier process for parents?
Yes, thank you for the question on that, and we did find out some information. We do have an online process where parents and actually staff actually can do this too, and can pay ahead of time so that it's like a credit going on. And sometimes it does happen. I mean, everybody is very busy, families are very busy, and when the amount is completed, there is a little bit of a leeway for kindergarten through 8th grade, and the parents are notified anytime that their account goes below zero. Every student is fed, no matter what their account says.
But they get a peanut butter sandwich instead of the regular lunch.
They have an alternative lunch. If their balance, I believe, is $10 below zero in K-8. In terms of high school, I think the threshold is zero. So no matter what, every student is fed. No child should ever be denied any food at any time during the day at school.
Is there a way we could send a reminder when you get down below, like $10?
Oh, we do. It's
or-
part of the system that goes out. Yeah.
So it sends a reminder before you're below zero, like at $10, it will send you a reminder? or-
I will check about the reminders, whether it's automated, but I definitely know our food services staff is on top of this. What I can do, and I do have this update by Scott Landsberger and our Director of Food Services, Carrie Pena, who have given some more information, details for the board, and we'll definitely send that in my update tomorrow.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. And do we have superintendent comments tonight?
I think I'll pass on my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that moves us on to board governance, and we have a discussion on the board policy 6154, the homework policies philosophy. And so I will share that I met with our two assistant superintendents, Andy Parsons and Amber Lee, and as well as a parent joined us. And we talked a little bit about homework philosophies. The district homework board policy was adopted in 1984. And it was revised in 1990. And so I think it's time that we have a look at this homework policy. And so that was on our board agenda, is the original wording. And certainly a lot of research has come out since this time. We've had a lot of changes. We have completely new standards. And so this is an important piece to look at. You'll see that there's the CSBA sample language, which is also here. And one thing that some districts do is they go through for the CSBA sample language, and they would have staff have a task force to work through this and make their recommendations and their changes to the homework policy, and then it would come back to the board. And so I think that for me personally, and I'll open up to all comments, but teacher autonomy is one important piece, I think, to have teacher decision-making in terms of what they choose will be meaningful for their kids and what will not be. I also think that for some of our families, their only snapshot into the classroom is their time spent with their children working on homework. And sometimes at my morning workouts at the park, at the grocery store. I mean, this is the thing that I hear so much about, to the point of I hear families who are so frustrated that they've talked about leaving the district over homework, and that is not something that we want. And so certainly we're seeing it done very, very well in many places. But there are areas, I think, where we really need to reflect on what is the practice. I would 100% be adamant that no child should be losing recess over homework, over missing a homework piece. They need that time to be out and to be moving. They are working hard, sitting in their seats. So that is something I feel very strongly about. But I'll open this up for board discussion.
Sarah, I've also been approached by parents who sometimes feel there's just too much homework. They tell me that their children, sometimes they're crying because they feel overwhelmed with the homework they're getting. And rather than, school being a really positive experience for them, or the time with their parents, there's of course new curriculum out there, and some of the parents are having a real difficult time being able to assist their children. So I agree with you. I think it's really time for us to maybe look at the, homework policy. And I appreciate your input as a teacher on, teacher autonomy also. I think that's important. You can't, just use one standard for, every child, and certainly not for every teacher. They understand the needs of those students much more. So if we give them, a strict curriculum that they may also feel very overwhelmed. And I think the bottom line is, when you give out homework, you're using it as a caliber, as a teacher, to find out what the student knows. It doesn't have to be so overwhelming. Sometimes 4 or 5 good questions gives you a really good idea, rather than throwing, 20 or 30 questions at them in one night. So I think it's time for that review. And school should be such a positive experience too, And I can tell you, my children are all grown. But there are many times when, they'd stay up very, very late at night, and we'd stay up with them. And the homework may have been so taxing that, school was no longer a learning experience. And it was something that they looked at with apprehension. And we all want, of course, school to be a very positive experience, something for them to look for, building that great foundation for them. So that's my take on homework.
Yeah, I had a basic question or two about this, and I would have to rely on your expertise, Sarah, as a teacher, because you know probably better than any of us, what's the right amount, if there is a right amount. The teachers are the ones that are probably going to know what the right amount is, if having homework at all is the right amount. And that's something that I think we need to discuss a little bit. I remember going to high school, it was 2 hours every night. That was almost a given for me. But as, if we go back in the earlier grades, it was like half hour to an hour. But I also remember a lot of times that was, all the time that I really got to spend with my dad, and was when he was helping me with my homework. So, in some cases, I wouldn't want kids to be losing time out from playing and being kids because they need to be kids. But at the same time, there is some sort of, cathartic bonding time with parents. I get to I'm actually looking forward to helping my daughter with her homework, because I like yeah, right, I say that now. I like the parental participation part of that. But that's me, I'm kind of kooky that way. But, I don't know what the right amount is. And I would like to say that the teachers do. And I would hope that we would certainly include them on a discussion of that.
Are you done? I agree with your comments, all of your comments on homework. I think it shouldn't be busy work. I think it needs to be constructive, and I don't think it should just be piled on, because kids are busy doing sports and music and dance and all other kinds of things. It needs to be a balance, if any at all. There was a candidate one time in West Sacramento years ago that ran on a no homework policy, and he didn't win, but I could see his point, because I was in the middle of a lot of homework with my kids, and I think you have to respect the family time. There's schools in Oregon that are saying absolutely no homework, and it's fascinating to see the social experiment that they're doing. I think that's looking forward to the future with that, hopefully. But I think we need parents and teachers and kids all on the homework policy discussion. So. Mm-hmm.
And Sarah, I was going to also mention, as far as grading, I know different teachers use attendance, homework, class participation. I think if possible, we should probably have a bit of a discussion on that too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, thank you. I will say, when I started teaching, 14 years ago, my philosophy has changed myself. I realized teachers have a good idea. I think you're correct in what is meaningful versus busy work, of course. However, I didn't go home with my students. I didn't go to their house. I didn't see what they were dealing with. I didn't see my students who had no parents with them at the time. I didn't see the kids who were babysitting their younger siblings. I didn't see the kids that were making dinner. I didn't see the kids that had soccer practice and then violin. And then, and so I learned a lot after that, and a lot of conversations with families. And I think now what we have, the nice piece we have since our policy from 1984, is we have some new research on it too. Is what is meaningful? I certainly think there are times when you can have something meaningful, but my philosophy is very much a minimalistic and meaningful. My daughter came home. They have a great program in her class where they get a new book every evening that you read, and then it goes back to school, and it's been so much fun. But then afterwards, and after her soccer practice, we were able to make a yogurt cake from her Highlights magazine. I'm not the best cook, so I was very thankful for that Highlights magazine thing. But, those are very, very special, as you're saying. And she did math and science and everything else. So I think the best thing we can do is support family members so that the time with their children at home can be meaningful and non-stressful. So.
I wanted to make one more comment. I did see one parent shared with me, I believe her daughter's in 5th grade, and she showed me her homework for that evening, and it was quite overwhelming. And then I checked the next night. She's a very involved parent, and she was showing me what her daughter had as homework. She showed me for a week, and I was quite surprised. It was definitely more than 2 hours worth of homework. And she said, my daughter she cries. She's just a student who sits there, and she says, and she wants to make good grades. And right now, it's so overwhelming for her. She's always wanted to achieve. She's a high achiever. So when, she maybe feels that she's not meeting the requirement, maybe she's missed something. Because I know the students are asked to also write down their homework, in their homework logs and all. It's had the opposite effect of what we want. We always see students, and we're so pleased when we hear them come and testify about how fantastic school is, and the wonderful things they're learning and how they're applying them. But I think your comment on autonomy is important, because I believe the teacher is following maybe a curriculum that has been set down as part of. I'm not certain what we follow, Linda, but I know just looking at it, it's quite a bit, I think, for that 5th grader. And I'm not certain it's in every school, but it seems overwhelming for her.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. So I look forward to staff input, I think, if we're in agreement up here, if they could have a task force look at this, a small group with some important stakeholders that could think about the philosophy. I know for some this is a philosophical shift to be thinking about maybe and looking at their practice. So, and I know that our job as a board our policy is broader. It talks in here about then there's the site plans as well. But I would look forward to them putting together something.
We definitely will get a task force together that does include students and our parents and teachers. And I think what we need to keep in mind is that we are in a different time of homework and standards. And one thing that I'm very passionate about that I would like represented on this homework task force is about equitable access at home. And so State Superintendent Torlakson has talked about this digital divide here in California, that so much learning and access is digital. And so what we want to make sure, of course, we want to encourage that with our kids. We're working with our city with digital badges so that kids can explore and learn different interests that they have. And we want to make sure that every single student in Washington Unified has full access at home to learning resources online. And so that will be one thing that the homework task force will definitely keep in mind, so that we ensure that whatever teachers feel is appropriate and kids, what they want to learn at home, is a nice blend, and that kids who may not have internet access will be able to have access in some manner through our support.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that discussion, we did need to go back into closed session. And so I believe we will just adjourn to closed session. and get an update, and then we will come back and close up.